All right, let's get rolling. It's frankly fabulous time. Oh, I've been working all week, literally since Monday. I have not stopped working on this book. Literally, I feel like it's finals week. I've been working, typing shit, printing, folding, stapling. I figured out, so I've got an actual cover. My other chapbooks, they don't have an actual cover. They've just got type. I never really put an image on because I didn't have a fucking, so I haven't had a word processing program because it's impossible to find just like a non-cloud based, Google Drive, even Microsoft Office is like online now. I've bitched about it before on the show. Dedicated, frankly fabulous. So I'm basically what I'm doing here is I'm trying to. I should have did this last night. I should have did it the night before. But like I said, I've been working on this fucking book non-stop. Oh my god. Last night I was up to 1, 2 in the morning. I was passing out on the computer. As soon as I stopped, I couldn't get to sleep. So I was up till 4 last night. Just because it's so hot. It's 90 degrees this week, and it's June. So I've got this reading tomorrow. It's kind of a big deal. It's my return. It's my return to the stage. It's my return to show business after the hiatus, after the great edit. Let's just pretend 2020 just didn't even happen. It didn't happen for me. So I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I was going through my notebooks to just figure out what pieces I wanted to read. And I have no clue how I want to put this reading together. I've had so many different ideas because I've been high all week. Non-fucking-stop. Putting up flyers, that's something I did. I made flyers and I put them up Monday. Who knows? Nobody does that. Nobody puts up a real flyer. There's no fucking point. You can't reach nearly as many people. Everybody's looking at their phone anyway. Nobody's going to see your flyer. Everybody's looking at their phone. But I made real flyers and I put them in the street. I printed them out with my printer. I don't know. This is what I know how to do. This is how I know how to do it. This is how I came up. I can do it now that I have a printer. I can draw the shit. So I drew some flyers with Sharpie. I did it real fast. They weren't particularly good, and as social media let me know. I've just been crushed emotionally. The whole week. I literally feel like I'm just like in high school and just like, I don't know what happened. Just Tuesday, I just like, because I posted this shit. I found out certain people unfollowed me. I just felt like devastated emotionally. Like literally, I don't even know why I took it so personally. This is why I don't fuck with Instagram or Facebook, because anything I post there just feels like it's too emotional for me to not get likes. Really, it sucks. It sucks that people don't like what you're doing. I don't know. Everything's about likes. Everything's fucking social. This is what I'm saying. I try to put these fucking flyers out in real life, IRL, and it doesn't matter at all because everything is on fucking line, and like, people are just stingy. I don't know. It's just... maybe I've cut myself off from too many people. Maybe that's like catching up with me, or I suppose it always has been. But like, especially being here, it's like, can you just cut people out of your life and just stop talking to them? Like, I thought things, let's just say, I thought things were going to be different. Coming out of the pandemic, what I was promised, what we were led to believe was going to happen, is not really what's happening. It's not easy to date, and like, things are kind of just going back to the way they were. I know for me personally, I feel like alienated from the scene here, which I always have, but like, it's just frustrating because I feel like I've just ruined my reputation and fucked up my first impression with everybody basically in New York. And I think in a certain way you can't recover from that. I don't know. I'm trying to rehab my image. But I don't really think it's working. I mean, I'm doing this tomorrow, right? So like it's kind of a big thing, but it's also just another thing. I mean, to be honest, I'm just very grateful to have been asked. No one has really ever asked me to do a fucking reading. Except Denim Skin, really. So this is the first time I ever really got asked to do a fucking reading, and I feel like I deserve it. But I also I don't know what to present. I have all this fucking work that I've never read before because all I ever do is open mics where you have 3 minutes, so I'm reading pieces of a diary. I try to never read the same thing twice. I'm completely different than every other poet in that regard. I try to always read new stuff, always read fresh stuff, always read stuff from my journals that is recent. But, I was smoking weed and I was going through, I've got all my stuff here. So I was going through these typewriter poems that I have from 2018, and they were pretty good, to be honest. This should have been a book, to be honest. They're all of kind of a particular style, and they're lit. They're all over the place. And then I've got all my old chapbooks in here, so I found some nice pieces in there that, I've got this book 1 year where I wrote a line every day for a year. I thought that would be a fun thing to get some audience participation, ask people, their birthdays, or just a day. Just give me a random day, and I'd read a line. But it's hard to say, because you have this fantasy in your head, I'll read for an hour. It's been a long time coming. And just, I don't know, not being used to this, you're just do I deserve this? How am I gonna sustain, not necessarily sustain people's attention, but sustain my own attention? The problem with me is when I read, I get self-critical. So, like I said, I transcribed all this stuff from my diary over the past 3 days. I did it when I was super high, I did it fast. I'm throwing shit together here. I mean, I slammed this thing together, even though I worked super hard on it. Sunday, Monday, I did the flyer, and I walked over. I put flyers on Bleecker, West 4th, Christopher Street, Sheridan Square, in front of Village Cigar. McDougal and West 3rd in front of that pizza shop. Mercer Street Books. Bleecker and Bowery, where Think Coffee is, and Codex. I tried to go to fucking McNally Jackson, but they were closed when I got there. I got there at 7:30. They closed at 7. I thought everything closed at 8, so I wanted to hang one there, but I didn't get there in time. I don't even know if hanging them on the street, I don't know if they're still there. They very well could have been taken. It's been raining. I put them up, like I said, Monday night, so that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's not like anybody. I did see one guy. I put one up on St. Mark's and First Avenue. I put one up on 9th and A, and then one at 7th and A. I think that was all of them. And then today I put one in front of 192 Books, which is kind of by galleries and shit, right at the end of the street here. I put one at Printed Matter, and I put one on 10th and 24th, where Paula Cooper Gallery is and shit, the High Line. So I put up a bunch of flyers. I mean, I printed them out. They look pretty cool. I didn't get that many likes on social media because it's just I draw them in a Sharpie. I got this scanner app. These things are incredible. They're unbelievable, actually. They kind of fucked it up a little bit. It didn't really get my marker. It kind of fucked it up, but whatever. That's about the best I can do. I've got a black and white printer. Black and white's cheaper, just like film. It's cheaper, and everything looks better in black and white. Contrary to what Paul Simon says. So, I really promoted the fuck out of this. I don't even know if I should. Maybe I should just do this. Then this can be my poetry. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna talk about. I've had all of these different fucking ideas. I was gonna read shit from Ohio. I thought about reading. Not that I want to read any pandemic shit, but like I said, I've got these poems from before the pandemic. It's like, how am I going to reconcile that with this book? And then I've got, this was the book I was working for, Mutual Fair, which is from November and December, and it's got a lot of pieces that I wanted to read, but now that I made this, that thing's just like, I don't know. But I don't know, a lot of the pieces in this, I've got some long ass fucking, I've got 7-minute I've got a couple of 7-minute long epics that I may do. I'm not sure. I really don't know what the fuck is going to happen. I don't know who's going to come. It might be just like a handful of people. I want it to be like a homecoming for Frankly Fabulous. I want all my friends to come. Everybody who hates me. Everybody who thinks I don't know. I mean, I'm just in a weird, like, obstructed, distant thing with basically everybody I know. My family, people I work with, poets, the poetry scene, the people I used to know, people I was in bands with, my friends from high school, people, my employers, my former employers, everybody. My parents, everybody. So I don't know what the fuck. I mean, I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I don't know who's gonna show up. It's like, it's kind of on me because, like I said, my friend was like such a go-getter about this. I was so impressed. Such initiative. Nobody I know has that. So I went to the open mic at KGB a few weeks ago, and I heard that they were looking for events. They wanted to get people in there. And I noticed they'd started to do shit. So I went out. I was out reading with my friend from L.A. She's here from L.A. Her mom has an apartment in the city that she's selling. So she wanted to stay there while it's, she still has it. And she's got a series in L.A. That's amazing. And so I told her about it. We went to a reading like the next day or something, or a couple days later. And so, like, the next day or day after that, I get a message, or I hear from her, hey, I've got a reading at KGB. Do you want to read on it? And sort of like, so she doesn't know a lot of people. As far as I know, she doesn't know anybody in New York. She's been working long distance through her fucking, computer or whatever. And, I think she knows some people from like fucking high school, but like she didn't really know any poets to read. And I don't know, I was of two minds about it. Like there were people I probably could have asked and maybe should have asked, but like the way I was looking at it is like, she's here from LA. It's Frankly Fabulous time. It's time to like experiment and do this and put this in front of people and see what happens and do the Frankly Fabulous show and do the Frankly Fabulous experience and be Frankly Fabulous and, go fabulous and try to do it. I don't know what's going to happen. It might be packed. I mean, we went to a reading at KGB, I don't know, a week ago or something, and it was packed. I mean, that was like a scene, like I said, everybody hates me, so I don't really know that anybody's going to come out to this, except for like I had a couple friends ask about it, so it could be like 3 to 5 people that I know. I've been trying to promote. I don't know what to fucking do. I'm not cool. I've been putting my shit on social media. I put it on Twitter, I put it on Facebook, put it on Instagram, put it in fucking posters and shit. I don't know what. Should I guess I should just open my heart to people and just come in. Come back to Frankly Fabulous. I don't know. I like living alone. I like being alone. This book is about being alone. But I have felt, like I said, things have not really been going like I expect it. I thought when I got back to New York, my friends would all reach out to me. You know, I thought everybody would message me. Oh my God, are you back? Oh, because people were sending me messages back in September and shit last year. I was getting messages from people regularly. When are you coming back to New York? Now all the same fucking people that were messaging me, I haven't seen any of them, to be honest. So I do feel like I've got this space, and like I want to do like maybe a house or like an after party here. Maybe after the reading tomorrow, people come back here and we can chill and, you know, I can finally have people over. I mean, I haven't hooked up with anybody. Like that's been a preoccupation. I haven't had anybody over to my place really, and it feels like time is just burning away. I mean, I've already been here 3 months. That's insane. It's just going so fast. And I'm not even gonna, you know, I'm only here to the end of next year. So I'm trying to get shit going as soon as possible. That's what this is about, doing this show. And like, I hope the New York Times shows up and like realizes what real fucking entertainment is. That's what this is. This is entertainment. This is show business. I'm in show business. You know, poetry, schmoetry. I mean, like, I'm hesitant to even call anything I do like poetry because like it doesn't hit like that, I guess. It's writing. It's just writing, and it's a performance. I'm a performer. It's experimental writing. It's notebook. It's life. It's pieces of my life, you know, and it's a performance piece. It's. I was reading those. Who's that woman? Dropout piece. Lee something. What is that woman's name? Dropout piece. Lee Iacocca. I don't know. I don't remember. Not Lee Krasner. But like, this is a performance. You know, every little sentence in this is a little piece of my day. It's a little clip. It's a little thought clip. It's like a little, you know, video that I took of an image or a perfect little sentence or a little idiosyncratic detail of our existence, our current and so it's calendar, it's, you know, it's my experience, but it is meant to be like, I don't know, the way the tenses kind of slam together and shit. Like, okay, if I have to explain my poetry, does that make it bad? Like, I've been a bad poet since fucking high school. In fact, I've been writing the same way. I had a fucking idea for a book in high school that I wanted to do a book of poems, basically that I wrote using the same form and shit. In my notebooks, you know, I wanted to name every poem after a Beatles song. Fucking cheesy as hell, but like, basically I'm doing the same shit now. You know, it's just different things that I'm naming it after. You know, it's light. It's just everything, you know. Student film. 3AM bathroom account. Looks cool. Price fishing. SM57. Cross pounder. Inoculated city. Heathers. Shitting blood. Got great titles. But, I don't know. I mean, it's auto fiction. It's memoir. It is jagged, and it's like cubist because it's all these different tenses, and it doesn't always, it's always kind of like starting from zero. It's not really like, it doesn't flow. I mean, it does flow, but like the syntax and the grammatical structures are not necessarily like, they're a little, the angle's a little steeper. You know, they're not as like smooth and orderly. There's a lot of jump cuts. Let's say that. There's a lot of jump cutting. So maybe I'll just talk about that'll be the piece that I do tomorrow. I'll do a conceptual. Will I even be able to hold people's attention? This might get bored after 5 seconds of me talking. This might be like school or something. I don't know. It's an experiment. I think people have to welcome it and look at it in that way. I don't know. Is Frankly Fabulous going in to bomb? Do I need a whole new thing? Is this all... I don't know. I have been living in sort of... We all have. We've all been living in just, like, our own realities and just, like... We're coming together again, and there is going to be, like, a collision between our expectations and the consensus expectation, or the consensus. So, I don't know. This is... I'm probably going to try and sell it because it's 36 pages. It's 9 sheets of paper. My printer's low on toner. That's how hard I've been working. Not because it's actually low on toner, because the fucking thing is programmed. So if it prints a number of sheets, then it just, like, gives you this message. It triggers this message. Oh, we're low on toner. You need to order more. And in fact, if they had your credit card number and you were automatically enrolled in that, they would just order more automatically and send it to you. Just, in advance. So you have it when you need it. No thanks. My toner, I'm checking the level on the thing. It's over half. See, am I going to be able to talk about this in front of people tomorrow? I don't know. Is this going to be immediately boring? I think it's how you take command of the room. Am I prepared to do that? I mean, vlogging your mom's apartment is kind of different than commanding one of these fancy New York audiences. So I published, I don't know, I shared the flyer to this group. It's like a New York poetry reading group, and literally nobody liked it. I don't know, I just felt emotionally devastated by all these things. How nobody liked any of my fucking... It's like I drew this. It looks cool. It's got an aesthetic. It looks unique. Like, give it up for that. I think they're good drawings. I think they're poignant. I mean, my cover, I think, is very... My cover's, I think, very good. Let me get a close-up of this. You see that? In a certain way, I was just typing stuff up to sort of like... I want to just go on stage with my fucking notebooks, to be honest, and read shit out of my notebooks. But I also, like... Oh, God. I just feel like I did this... I've wasted the whole week because I really haven't planned what I'm going to read at all. I put together this book, which is sort of like things that I kind of am planning to read. But am I going to really read 2 7-minute long? So this one piece I have is a transcription. It's from my YouTube live streams. So this is a transcription that YouTube did of my live stream. I think from last July. It's called Oral Novel. And I think what was actually happening here was when I was playing music. See, I'm like explaining the piece. I was playing music, and so you have me rhyming a lot, and I was singing, I was making up the lyrics, so I was talking about, topical stuff, but I was playing piano, I think, at the time, maybe it was a guitar, I'm not sure, but there's a lot of distortion in this. There's a lot of, where it just says so and shit. It's like, I was probably saying other stuff, but the translator can't make out what it is because of the interference of the music. It's not the same as just the ones where I'm talking. And honestly, the form is a little kind of interesting because it's music and because it's a transcription of the music. So this is a collaboration. I think it's a good poem, to be honest. And like I said, I was looking for long pieces because one thing about my last book, I mean, they're all different because the circumstances and the technology I make them with are different. Like, the spacing on this, I did this on Google Drive. So I finally got this fucking, it's called LibreOffice or some shit like that. It was free, and it's beautiful. I was able to do a cover and shit. It's amazing. And I can save it all on my fucking computer and stuff. But this is like shorter pieces mostly, because the notebook that I took it from was like smaller. This one I took from kind of a bunch of different notebooks. I literally went through like all my fucking notebooks, and I'm sure I didn't even use a lot of stuff, and I didn't even use a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff that I didn't put in here, and it's fucking 36 pages. And there's a lot of stuff in here that people are going to read and go, what the fuck? What's the point of that? But there's meant to be a continuity, and it's called City Life. So yeah, it's sort of about my New York, thoughts. Although this one section is more kind of explicitly political. Let me read it because I just want to see. I just want to do it. Okay. So this is oral novel. This is the transcription from YouTube. See, this might be how I do it tomorrow. I might just kind of like flow, and then whenever I sort of come upon, okay, I'll read this now. Maybe that would be one way to do it. Like, I want it to be comfortable. I want to actually read to people, and I feel like talking to people is a good way to read with people because you actually have to talk to them. Whereas when you read, you can just get into... I don't know. It's peculiar because I feel like the less animated you are, the better. But you still have to be like emotionally effective. I can't do that. I have to be animated. I have to. I just have to. It's just I have to. It's like the whole point of what I do, to be honest. There's no point in me even doing this if I can't, use my body. So, oral novel. This was July last year. And I'm going to explain tomorrow that I wrote this novel on YouTube. And I don't know. I was even wary of publishing that in this because I am going to publish the whole thing. I don't even know how many pages it is. The file I have on my computer is 400 pages, but I'm pretty sure it's like 1,000 and more. If I transcribe all of the fucking videos that I've done, let's say until I left Ohio, let's say that's the book. 1 year of pandemic live streams. It'd probably be a few thousand pages. So I do want to publish that. And it's meant to be like an art piece. It's meant to maintain the fucking mistakes. I didn't make these mistakes. This is a computer glitching out. We all know how dope glitch stuff is. So I'm going to publish, and this is going to be in the larger book, but part of what I'm trying to do with these books is I don't know, this is so cohesive that I want to kind of take out the stuff that's more not about New York, because it would be maybe better to just have it be about New York and save the others, because it's not really related in a certain way. But I don't know. I'm not sure if that contrast is good or bad at this point. I'm not sure if it's too jarring. So, I'll start with this little introductory poem. 521, Duck Sauce. Duck sauce. The fact of the matter is, a walk is a poem. Here comes one now. And then this is oral novel. So that's a little intro. That's like the pre-song. See, how am I gonna... This could go so flat if I really don't commit to this, you know what I mean? Or should I just do it normal? Do I need all the Frankly Fabulous shit? I don't know. Is it better with the Frankly Fabulous stuff? We'll have to watch the tape after. Let me make sure I'm still rolling here. Okay. Yeah, we've only been talking for half an hour. See, that's the other thing is I don't know how long I'm gonna read either. Like 20 minutes. I'm looking at these fucking readings from the 60s and shit. There's this Paul Blackburn reading. His first set is an hour long. He does 2 sets. Like, I don't know where you're going to find that. I'm sure people are out there doing that, like in the privacy of their own shit. But KGB bar, I don't know, 20 minutes feels, but I'm ready to do 45 goddamn minutes. I could do an hour. You know. I don't know. Am I going to be able to hold the audience? I don't know. I have no fucking clue. In a certain way, this does feel like my first performance because it's really just like the first time I get to read without music. You know, I've always sort of done music or some other thing. This is more probably what I should be doing. Not necessarily reading poetry, but just like me, microphone, voice. That's it. You know, words, performance, behavior. So anyway, oral novel. I have to turn off the waiting for you down. So, hey, done. I saw, buddy. How is everybody out there? Happy Sunday morning. For too much salt. Too much salt. I don't care what they say. I don't care what they do. They cannot hurt my soul. And in fact, his life is reinforced by their swords. I could tell the story of my life in Epicene. That's what Fallout for Ashley Simpson's been thinking too. My people won't let go. Oh, hey, I'm on the hook with my solo hand. What do you do with your left hand? I know what you do. That's okay. We won't sexualize the conversation. I wish I could talk to you on the phone. I wish I could talk to you. Oh, decided is, so. Don't think too much. We're going to have World War IX. You know that everybody understands the seriousness of the gravity of the political situation we're in. I'm sure. Do I need to talk about it? It's a great vlog, 1913. I like entertaining, but people just want to hear music. You know, when they hear music, they want something. The only podcast I ever hear of you, I got an interview. I like doing interviews. I like answering questions. I like interview questions. I like to talk about my own work. I like my approach. I like to disconnect. I like that better than that work itself in a lot of ways. I'd say that is the technique. The technique is what you get on TV. One of the children nobody wants to hear, you fucking told me. Oh, is to... The song is now. It's always coming out. It's going to show. Not just so. All the way through the other side. She's so. I have no survival skill. My constructions are elementary at best. We're in my comfort zone. Piece of shit. What happened? Computer's a piece of shit. Oh, we're back now. For a few times. Blue working on us. Return. Sunday services. Here eating bravado. One string cheese incident at a time. Karaoke nightclub of the fucking heart. Karaoke nightclub of the fucking heart. Karaoke nightclub of the fucking heart. Well, you gotta have fun. You gotta save. Life is 11:25. We are here. Hey, from our, ladies and gentlemen, the greatest movie ever. One of the great movies of all time. Surfing Ishtar. Hi, everybody. I'm Matt Brocker. It's Sunday morning, CPS This Morning. We got some great guests. Charles Carroll on the road in America. It's not worth it. That was my big conclusion. Blowing ears out of this fucking place. I always fall asleep watching silent movies. I want someone to love me for my love. The ones I write and the ones I don't. I don't like the stocky awareness of my town. I'm just trying to figure out what it all means. Well, if you ask me my profession, I'd say I've got an awful lot of good, ideas. You know, it's not my fault that society doesn't prioritize. Now, if they just let me run things, I straighten out the whole damn town. I don't mean retribution type way. I hear they've got different syntax on the other. When you could, well, then what is the fucking point? This is not about the enjoyment of anybody else but the government. I'll take my tax dollars and I'll figure out what I want to pay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Uncle Sam. Thank you, Aunt Sally Mae. I was able to buy my first house today. I went down to the Remax dealer. He said hi to me. I said he was a very friendly man, and it wasn't closing ceremony. I said, it's very friendly, man. Jenna's praying to me. We can't talk about my suits. What we just accepted it, didn't we? We are accepting it. We're normalizing it. Try to play mellow. I try to play cocktail quiet outside. The interrogative number, pretty good. My city is dreaming of Kentucky nights. The man on the next damn track timed that next time. I was blinded by the architecture of the city lights. I was operating my eyes in the middle of the night. I was opening my eyes in the middle of the night. See, I'm not going to be able to read with this shit on. I went to get all that. I came back with nothing in my head. Then I got that help. Check it. Make me feel. I got that help check. It made me feel really good. $600 a week. It make it all right in this fucked up time. Psychological damages from this shit we're going through. What the fuck is this? How are we going to live with it? People don't know what they're supposed to do. It could kill your man. Me, I'll protect this house. Do the magic ritual to keep the bad spirits out. Yeah, I got a watchful eye hanging on my door. I don't trust this town. I don't trust these people. Want to protect myself and the family members in my house. Want to protect all my loved ones. I could hold you, everything you do, every single day. You know I'm thinking about you. You know you're going to rise. I just don't know. I don't know what to do. News is faith news. It happened 100 years ago. It'll happen again. It'll happen 100 years from now. It'll happen way back when. Just exercise your total freedom of elasticity of mind. Good words however you want in time. I'll do 45. I'll do 50. I'll do 55. I can stretch for time. Time is the essence of a pleasure. I feel my body moves through the liquids of time. I'm swimming through the chlorine, and it's cleaning out my eye. I'm singing songs of beaches. Porch in Johanna, Ohio, by the big wall of the creek, where Three Rivers Stadium and the softball fields go. The public field, the public pool. They plowed into the mode out in Valley View, where Grandma grew up. She's ashamed to live by the White Castle truck, but it's who we are. We're hillbillies, and it goes deep. We're living on the bottom, trying to act like we're on the top of the world. You gotta have fun while you can, until the last possible second. You got to do what you can. You got to live your life. You got to work inside. What are you driven to do? What stimulates you? What's your passion and purpose? Living for others, helping others achieve happiness and safety, putting them before you, not just your family, your community. That's my message in this song. Go volunteer at a community recreational. Get out in the street and protest while you still can't. Arrest the cops who killed Beyonce. What are they waiting for? Black Lives Matter. Get out on the streets and say it loud. Do what you can with your white skin. Put your body in front of those who may be at greater risk than you. Use your privilege to dismantle the systems of power. Use the patriarchal tendencies to dismantle all the males. Ride your bike everywhere. Recycle cans and batteries. Sunday service everybody. See, I don't know. Like the ending of that, how long was that? Yeah, like 8 minutes or something. I don't know what people are going to get out of that. And, like, you do feel like you're flagging or you're like, I mean, is it hot? I don't feel high at all. What am I gonna, I need to be like blazed out of my mind to do this, maybe? See, so that's 7 fucking minutes or 8 minutes. What the fuck else am I gonna read? Chelsea Girls. Redacted, I'm yours. It's so fucking hot. Saw you browsing at the Strand one night after class. It was like coming upon a fawn in a glen in the lush-covered forest. of Clintonville, Ohio. Park Slope was a sleepy port on the canal, emptied and intelligent, suburban, not very fun after dark. Chelsea rattles with the mast of still-clattering mercantile clipper ship empires. Take me to a Yankee game if you can. Jeter, A-Rod, Mariano Rivera, and the Judge. Upcycled metropole. Greenwich Ave is the fastest way home. Union Square is the waist. 14th Street a belt. Downtown is Manhattan's legs. Upper torso the grid plan. Its arms are bridges, its ankles tunnels. A body seeing in eyesight of sideways prisms, horizontal skyscrapers which are streets, vertical roads which are buildings, femur, tibia, Rockefeller Seagrams. The bones we live in are homes, businesses, and offices. Its chest is Central Park, its abdomen Midtown, shoulders the Upper West and East Sides, Morningside and Harlem as lobes of a brain, Washington Heights forests, the beard, mustache, and sideburns. The village's genitals, west maybe vaginal, east phallic in perpendicular rigidities. Christopher Street, one station, Sheridan Square, a G-spot. Is Tribeca an anus where we poop cars and trash out the Lincoln Tunnel, which is our colon? Brooklyn is a woman. It sleeps next to us in separate beds tonight. Brooklyn is a queen-size mattress. Manhattan is like sleeping in your car. I love my body, my big, juicy pussy, New York City, as Dr. Ezyaba Arobi used to call it. Let's walk it like we've never seen. Let's walk it like we talk it. Tony Manero Strut, from Sheepshead Bay to Corleare's Hook. You know, I don't know. Are people going to want to hear fucking New York poems? People have been stuck in New York during the pandemic. I don't know. I wanted to write a New York book. All my travel books. I've got a Paris book. I've got a California book. Spokane, Washington. L.A. Columbus. I've written a lot of shit in Columbus. I've got New York stuff, of course, but I kind of need like a real. So this was like, I don't know, it's city life. This is my West Village poetry, history. So, you know, the oral novel piece is not really about Manhattan. It's about. See, I feel like this invites the reader in to discuss it, to talk about it during the reading. You know, rather than just like, I'm going from one thing to the next. I will not comment. Everything I need to say is in the poem. It's like, well, to me, the poem is like the jumping off point. These are like little hyperlinks. They're like little footnotes that, oh, you know, it's like part of the idea, and not to use this example, but like, okay, did you ever read The Wasteland, right, in college? Like, there's so many the whole poem is a collage of kind of like world history, mythology, you know, humanities kind of texts, religious texts, sacred, whatever. It's like a collage of different quotes and different. And so rather than do that, I mean, you know, I collage like quotes from movies, just like a bunch of different. You know, you could go down the rabbit holes of any of this stuff. You know what I mean? Like. Inoculated City, you know, like that's a Clash song. It's from Combat Rock. They wrote a fucking song called Inoculated City in 1980 or whatever, 1979. It's a New York song. That whole album is very New York. It's got Rimbaud on it and Allen Ginsberg, and it's got Taxi Driver. It's very Taxi Driver. So that is all in that, you know. I mean, I'm talking about now, we are in Inoculated City, April 19th, and I was listening to that song or something, and I thought, oh shit, this was right after I got my vaccine. So I thought, oh god, who'd have thought we'd be in a fucking inoculated city, but here we are, New York, inoculated city. So you might just read that, and in doing a reading, in fact, you say that really fast. I mean, smart people might hear it, but Is it like poetry? Is it going to add up to like some kind of like profound like insight into fucking, I don't know, human? You got to read between the lines to get that. I don't know. First of all, I can't do that. But I also don't want to be pedantic, to people in that way. I'll be pedantic in my own ways. But like, talking about it, this is part of the poem. This is the poem. That's what it's just, you're surfacing, you're going into this. That's what this is, This is the stuff that got written down from my mind, basically. And this is something I also want to talk about. I want to run this like my show. Even though I'm in a place and there's an audience and stuff, I want to do it just like I do my fucking living room. So that's one reason why I want to do this. And maybe I would have been better off practicing this all week rather than putting this bullshit together. Because this gets me on my feet, it gets me active, it gets me doing it. But now I'm tired. I mean, it's 1 o'clock in the fucking morning the night before. Like I said, I feel like I've been cramming for finals or something. Trying to make myself like a legit writer. This is exactly what I did with music, too. It was the same fucking thing. It was like, oh my god, I have to become like a real band all of a sudden. I can't just be like a fuck around, having fun, doing my stupid little bullshit. I have to like write like good poems that people are going to like. Sorry, it's just so hot. I'm not trying to like be, but it is like, I've just been really emotional the last couple of days. Like really emotional. And I think it's because of the weather. I think it triggers kind of nervous system type shit. But, yeah, I don't know what to fucking read from. There's this other piece, so I thought it might be interesting to read this other piece about New York. What the fuck did I do with it? So this is from a chapbook I wrote a few years ago, 2019 maybe, I think. And it's talking about the same shit. I don't even know. See, this is something, there's just so much to deal with. And, I want to talk about New York. Is gentrification even worth talking about? My book is basically about what I see on the streets. After a year of Zoom or, receiving things through mediation of social media or news or whatever, it's just like I'm walking around New York, walking around the West Village. I go out 21st, down 9th Ave, through Meatpacking, down whatever that is, Washington or something, left, down Hudson, through Abingdon Square, the bus stop, Bleecker Park, down Bleecker maybe, turn left on one of those streets maybe, Perry or Charles or whatever, and then just kind of make my way around the village. That's basically what I've been doing a few times a week since I got here. And so what I see is like nobody even lives in Manhattan. This is what I wanted to talk about. Maybe this should be in the poem, and it is. But it's like nobody even lives in Manhattan anymore. Like, there are tech people, right? And tech bros. I think that's gendered in a weird way, because not all tech people are bros. There are definitely bros, but there's a lot of different tech people, and they're all doing the same shit. More so than that, it is these massive organizations like NYU and Google as well. Google and Facebook taking after them. NYU and Columbia are a little bit different. I was reading this thing or heard this thing the other day. I read an article the other day about private universities don't have to pay property tax. So, up until, I don't know, the 90s or something, NYU was like a part of the West Village. It was like, you could kind of notice it or not. It wasn't. Now, NYU is the West Village. Everything between 14th and even north of that and like Soho, from one river to the other, is like a lot of NYU shit. It's not completely all NYU, but like a lot of NYU kids live in fucking East Village. Not just NYU, SVA, fucking Pratt, fucking New School. Like, I'm sure they all own real estate. They're private universities, I think. Maybe, I don't know, is the New School private? FIT, I mean, so they buy up apartment buildings. NYU, okay, this is the big thing. And I don't know how much time I'm going to have to talk about this, because I do feel like it's worth talking about, but is this the time I want to do it? I'm not sure. Is this thing in Washington Square Park, where the cops have been chasing the protesters out. Since my book is about New York and what is going on in these kind of streetscapes, and my own experience as sort of this flaneur, walking, perceiving witness, I don't know. I did not seek this out, but I have been in Washington Square both Saturday nights when that happened, to be honest. I was there both fucking times. I saw it both times. I wasn't trying to. I didn't hear about it or anything. And I haven't heard anybody mention this, but it's an anti-police protest. What happens is around 10 or whatever, 9 o'clock Saturday night, all of a sudden these marchers roll in down Fifth Avenue, as is their fucking right. I mean, it's Washington Square Park. It's like it's one of the prime, fields of weirdness and free activity in this fucking country, or it should be. It's the West Village. It's that is what it means. It's Bohemia, meaning it's a place for deviant behavior. And the cops won, basically. But anyway, so the anti, you hear them coming in. They come in on these motorcycles. Everybody hates these motorcycles that are going around because they're loud. And so everybody's complaining about it. Oh, because the pandemic kind of unleashed that, whatever. So they roll into the park on scooters and shit. And people are saying, fuck 12. But it's Washington Square Park. It should be open all night. It's for the people. And it's supposed to be about freedom and funky and hippie and weirdness and all of these things. And, they say it's because, people are using needles or whatever. It's like, I haven't really seen that. I walked through Washington Square Park. I mean, I'm not saying it's not happening, but, like, I haven't really noticed it's, like, any worse or any funkier. It's like, it's New York. That's what if that happens, that's a perfectly reasonable condition of what it's like to be here, because that's what New York is. And so the excuse that I heard was the neighbors are complaining, which, first of all, everybody who lives in the West Village who's complaining is rich, and they're somebody who left during the fucking pandemic, so now they want to come back. Oh, it's too loud. I need to sleep. I need to go play golf tomorrow. Fuck you. You have no rights. It's New York. City never sleeps. They're going to kick people out of the park at 10 o'clock. Everybody's having a great time. Both times I was there, it was packed. People are laying, I met this girl who's tripping. She's on LSD. This is what happens. I was really shocked. I mean, everything's been closing early, but the fact that it was like at 10 o'clock, everybody out of the park, it's absurd. It's Saturday night. Like, at least let people stay till midnight or later, 2 a.m. It's Washington Square Park. It should be open all the fucking time, you ask me. But it's because of these anti-cops, so they're all chanting fuck 12, which it's their fucking right, But there's a war in New York, like in a lot of American cities. There is definitely a war going on between the cops and the protesters. And that's what you're seeing in Washington Square Park. So what I see, the demographics that I see in these neighborhoods, and versus what I'm like studying, what I've been doing for the past few years, wherever I am, if it's Ridgewood, if it's St. Mark's Church, if it's San Francisco, if it's LA, if it's Paris, if it's Columbus, Ohio, I'm trying to learn about the poets and where they lived and what they wrote there and how their lifestyle. I mean, it's all about lifestyle for me and avoiding work. which I've been great. You know, we've all been blessed to been able to do for the last fucking year. It's been great. Not to be flippant about it, but I see, like I said, tech people, finance people, out-of-town investor, people that don't live here. This is the other thing is like, and like I said, I don't think I can get into all this tomorrow. It's just too much. But they incentivize bringing them here to displace what's already here. They bring Google in. They give them tax breaks. They let them buy up all the fucking real estate in the neighborhood and raise the rents. They buy up rent-controlled apartments. They renovate them. They develop them. And they raise all of the fucking property tax. They raise all the rents. They raise everything. Everything's more expensive. The people who were here, the funky bohemian deviants, they have to fucking leave. They all live in Brooklyn. Or wherever, you know. Maybe not even. I mean, it's a real crisis. In all of our American cities, there is no place to fucking live and be a bohemian. It's just, I mean, you're working 20, 30 hours a week at least in a restaurant. At least. Unless you're rich. Or you're, you know, flying by the seat of your pants like me. Living from paycheck to paycheck. Pretty exciting. Living on the edge. So, you know, they give them all these tax breaks. They think, oh, they're bringing jobs. They're going to be good for the economy. It's like, no, they're not. Everything is imported. They're not even a part of the economy. They bring in all the workers. They put them in all these apartments. The Friends apartment, the Magnolia Bakery, the Sex and the City. You know, all these TV shows have art washed. The Ari Hart New York bullshit. And they don't live here. Students, they don't fucking live here. Their parents pay for everything. These tech people, they come here because it's just another fucking mountain to climb. It's just another travel experience. Oh, I live in New York, but I've been to, you know, I go to Iceland and I go to Malta and I climb Mount Kilimanjaro. What are you looking for? You're looking for a soul. You have no soul. And it's all transient population, and it's all outside investors. You know, I walked by this house in the West Village the other day, beautiful old townhouse, all destroyed, renovating it. The whole interior, they just fucking destroy it. You see those metal framing for, like, drywall and shit. You're like, oh, God. They just destroyed a thing of beauty. And it's like the person who owns it's like in Miami or something. It's like some realty fucking thing. It's like the city has incentivized this shit too much. You know, when they sold the city, and now it's just like a big money laundering scheme where rich people can come and play. I mean, it really is. Especially now with COVID and this fucking de Blasio's like big concert for New York and like the $30 million, like they spent $30 million on like tourism. Come back to New York. It's like, why? So there can be a fucking service industry of people who live on the extreme, like, outer fringes of the city who, like, barely make enough money off these, like, jet-set, white-collar, bourgeois, you know, people who can afford to travel and shit. Like, Manhattan is, like, it's not, it's just an Airbnb, essentially. Whether you're a fucking student or... And so the cops protect that. You know, they're protecting the real estate investments of the rich people who launder their money here. So that's what this is about. Again, it begins to look a lot like Christmas. So that's like SantaCon. It's the SantaConization of our urban spaces, our bohemian spaces. Again, it begins to look a lot like Xmas. I'm obsessed with the health of this city because it's what I see when I go around the streets. I don't see a lot of oncoming wealth parity. I see the rich solidifying their gains and seizing more property and land. The West Village is starting to look more like the East, which is daily becoming more finance bro-y like its neighbor to the south, the Lower East Side. Historically immigrant and somewhat unwanted, these cluttered neighborhoods now a must-have of whitey, plunny, tacky, wealthy. Yesterday's yacht twits, today's khaki-sandaled bodega zombies, late o'clock. People whose cultural memory goes back as far as the Strokes, or possibly even the Ramones. They look like Williamsburg encroaching to Bushwick. Park Slope had it when I left, storefront transforming to either gym, CVS, or Starbucks. Then we moved to Queens, which was already suburb. Manhattan used to be anti-corporate. The worst thing conceivable would be a Walmart could come to the Central Island, where space was limited and the local character need be preserved at all costs. Now there's a Target on Avenue A. Nobody even fought it. The tech, finance, oil criminals are buying the property of the funky old rent-controlled people who are dying. This is what they want their neighborhoods to look like. Screens. The cities are refashioning themselves in the image of their newly imported populations of those organized financially and technologically by instantly recoverable contexts of data, a private network of encryptions sendable through air. So yeah, just the tech shit and all the apps has like enabled this hostile takeover. So maybe I'll read this. So this is like, should I sit? Can I sit? Can we lower the camera or something? Let's lower the camera. I'm gonna sit on the See, this is the energy I want. I want people to dig in. We're like in this for the long haul. Listen to me or not. I don't know. Am I going to lose people's attention? How am I going to get people's attention? How am I going to hold? A part of it is just courage. You just have to like have the confidence. You know, like I deserve the attention. So, contrary to that, you know, I guess what's depressing about it and what's weird about it, and that I've seen this a lot. Every time I move to like a bohemian neighborhood in my adult post-college lifetime, it's always been populated by finance bro, you know, business major, marketing major. Even when I lived in Short North in Columbus, Ohio, it's same shit. It's people with golf clubs. You're just like, what the fuck are you doing here? It's just weird. So, part of also what I've been doing is chronicling what was there before. You know, the thing about the West Village is it's just a beautiful, like, structure for the bacteria to breed, you know, for life. You know, it's like the Jane Jacobs thing. In the bohemia that was there. You know, I'm talking about in the teens and 20s and 30s and shit. Like E.E. Cummings. Thinking about what it could have been like. You know, to be in a lesbian bar on Thompson Street in 22 or something. The roaring 20s. And it was cheap. It's hard to believe, you know, because the West Village is just such a gorgeous place. Obviously, anybody who'd go there would think that. And it was cheap. And now it's the complete opposite. It's like, how the fuck did this happen? It's just weird. It's like, how did it go from being like nobody wanted it or how was it ever cheap? I don't know. So I've been lucky to be able to walk around that neighborhood a lot for the past few months, and it's basically what I've been doing, trying to sort of embody this. Even though I don't live there, I live in Chelsea, north of there. uh, and I never have even been in an apartment in the West Village. I think maybe once. My friend lived on like West 11th or something, West 12th. And I've been in her apartment like two or three times maybe. That's the only time I've ever even been in a fucking... I barely go into a building in the West Village ever. It's hard, like, so the idea that, like, you'd be living in a neighborhood, all your friends live there, you got time, I'll go over to my poet friend's house, we'll just fucking talk about poetry all day. It's like, now it's like, I live in Chelsea, all of my friends live way the fuck out on the train somewhere. Bushwick, Ridgewood, Bed-Stuy. Everybody lives in Bed-Stuy now. April 19th, cafe life. Why do our fashion aspirations resemble our parents' louche, nerd chic, circa the exact era we were conceived? Meaning a remedial absence of social criticism. My calendar came unplugged. My calendar's disconnected. See them run now. Here they come now. I see them running. They're jogging. Cellos, strings of guitars, guitars of strings. Seminary near Beachline. This coast really opens up. Barracuda was a gift. Why did I skip it? Now it's 2 blocks away. And opportunities of futures lost. 6-room apartment over kettle of fish, which used to be Lion's Head, centered next to 7th Avenue and Christopher. Village Cigar, Fat Cat, where my brother had his bachelor party. Duplex upstairs. Cabaret I went after wrapping a cooking show with Porter Brooks I was camera B on. Sheridan Square, Cafe Society. Stonewall is a constant part. The roots of integration can be traced to this neighborhood and these blocks in this country. Christopher Street gaping open wide to the broadside Silver River. There is a war being fought between the past and the future. New York City thinks it has to be brand new. It is learning to be an influencer city like LA or Dubai. What's good about New York is the depth of age. The junk rag shop on Houston and Bowery or in Chelsea. The stuff that outlasted, that nobody threw away. Sunk in the landfill metropolis and delinquent stabilized units protected by midget rent. They stay old. They yellow while the new blocks gleam and erupt in destruction like the hive combs of energy-harvested drone flesh. The smelly, incoherent, angry bum in front of the liquor store on Avenue A is holding it down. It's the only accurate thing in the neighborhood. It's boring to harp on, and there is a network of longtime residents who held on to their somewhat still affordable apartments, who were there before, who remember what it was like when cab drivers drove 70 miles per hour down 10th Street in snowball December. Cool dip through the pines, another mile an hour by the Rhine. Hoagie Carmichael ghosts tourist attractions and gentrifying adversaries. Beware cynicism or it's already too late. Creative means you know the Adobe suite. That star cluster of intersections. The Indian wants the Bronx. They're reintroducing the Village Voice print edition. Maybe I'll get an office next door, step in where the elders left off. Reading my diary in its entirety to strangers, amplified with portable rechargeable public announce system of wireless mics across the grass. James Baldwin, Harold Norris, Tennessee Williams, Gene Shepard, Marlon Brando, E.E. Cummings, Anatole Broyard, Jack Michelin, Bob Kaufman, Howard Hart, Taylor Mead, John Brent, Hugh Romney, Maxwell Bodenheim, Kenneth Patchen, Harry Kemp, Eugene O'Neill, The Iceman Cometh. These are the poets whose steps I fall into nightly in the canyons of endued Washington Square grass, and the wandering footpaths of trout streams, of Fourth, Waverly, Charles, Bleecker, Perry, Grove, Bank, Jane, Carmine, Barrow, Bedford, Downing, Minetta. A woods to get lost in. My Minotaur's residential labyrinth. One as fun to wander as to solve. To hope to live and never to leave. Souvenir corn maze I take, made out of buildings for brunches of ease. Skylights, garrets, doors and rooms to stairs where they sleep in half. Bird under the stage slept through the gig, while I hear gulls sculpt the horn, using the cut of the alley to find their way to Highway River. Laurie Anderson, Yoko Ono, Karen Finley, Carolee Schneeman, Hannah Weiner, Elaine May, Joanna Barnes, Hetty Jones, Diane DePrima, Amiri Baraka, Frank O'Hara, Emma Goldman, Maya Duran, Aeneas Nin. 10 days that shook the world. Now a communist could only afford this neighborhood in undergrad. Clay Woman, Amy Sedaris, Amy Poehler, Ale at Pfaff's, Ramble Down Gay, Ferry to Governor's Island, White Horse Tavern. Even the road pave looks north face, golfy and financial. Get out of my city, suburban Chevy Tahoe, human ATM balance. I miss the ground floor of Dogecoin. I miss the second, third, and fourth floors as well. I distrust crypto. 65 viewers to my story, which is not bad considering I look at absolutely no one else's story. Saw Jerry Saltz on Hudson the other day. I thought he looked more commanding in person. It may have been someone else, outside of La Bonbonniere. It's 1:02 a.m. I woke up at 7, enjoying the late nights. The side effects were about what was to be expected. A pretty routine and normalizing path and reaction to things. I'm sort of missing L.A. New York City is full. Mitch, maybe we need outward release, thrown in multivalent directions. I hear my computer thinking in the other room. It sounds like a clicking grind. Yard in Bushwick, house upstate. I like my friends and being pressed up against the wall by an over-reconstructed isthmus. Port of call, North River Bay. We only have the present tense, which keeps resetting its inception in blinding flashes. More fragmentary pieces, debris flurry, less sledding hill. Teachers I never thought I'd forget can no longer remember their names. Up with people, jolt calm. Inner tube slid us down ice, happiest days of my life. Among a fair tray of happy days, hors d'oeuvres of happy days. But never like her looking up at him in the park from a Tompkins Square clothes rack which she was selling. Microbiotic Spice Cove turned Szechuan. My seat is an emergency kitchen. $4 an hour to wash dishes 6 days a week, 12 hours a day. No daylight, just dishwater, sucking the tan out of your fingers. But the street belongs to everyone after you get off work. 6 guys drinking tall boys, sitting on crates in the bodega near the hot food. So that's like my West Village. I guess I just bitch about gentrification constantly. Schwab's. Riding the island. Need a social place to hang out. Art bar with D.H. Lawrence. Maybe I should buy some art for the new place. Tastefully appointed, I intubated a guy on Thursday. He died on Tuesday, says nurse in the square. I didn't realize she was a medical health professional. Thought they were in tech. Bridging the grid to White Horse, trying out all the date sports. Finish what you started, cleaning up New York in increments. 423, the prank economy. Feast your eyes on these falling bolts of silk. The last great toy that was made was the wagon. Flying buildings' walls smack you upside the face. A bum laughing at a private joke searches the trash for food. Checks the lid on styrofoam coffee cup. Sees it's empty. Laughs. Theatre de Lis. Undercover deities, like a flower at night, lights up the compressing dark. We're bed for dead ends at Christopher. I keep waiting for my favorite restaurant to come back. The apartment tape. Raindrops fell into my tears. Buddy Holly lived at the Brevoort on 5th Avenue, maybe at the same time as Jim Brody, who I think grew up there, just north of Washington Square Park, a building I remarked upon first seeing at summer 2004 visit to New York. The heat, the grit, overlapped in the Fountain Bowl, bringing his guitar, digging poetry and jazz, moving to NYC with his band to be a part of the scene. Buddy Holly writing in a notebook, crying, waiting, hoping, blue days, black nights, hearts that are broken, love that's untrue. These go with learning the game. He liked the creative attitude of his buildings, and that his neighbors did not look askance his intercultural marriage to Maria Elena Santiago like they did in Texas. Buddy Holly, 3 chords schematically placed with compressed precision. Buddy Holly, Greenwich Village notebook poet, hanging all night at the 5 spot. Buddy Holly, he died too soon that we may live. Buddy Holly, not fade away. Vox Populi. I'm a little wary to set goals. Sacrifice never got me everything I wanted. Just to be with people on a first-name basis and not worry about outcome. The world's first Google store is right around the corner from my place on 9th Ave. I think I'm on my period. Living alone, one's life is sadder, but also more relaxed. I prefer it. "5'9", I don't wanna. Antler dust, the velvet antler, factory antler, the deer's antler tree, antler dog tails, 2 antler spoons from Ontario, antler science and product technology, the bar with antler chandeliers, antler bear canoe, gun dog shed antler training, antler bone and shell, howdy antler, goodbye antler. 513, G.G. Allen, where art thou? Your life is an unfinished novel, holding on to the past. There's free housing in the trees for birds. I hadn't seen that. Circular Jedi, put air in your tires. Psychological oranges, throw things at boys, left and right. I had 2 pairs of forest. Want somebody to bring my anger home. Verbal essayist trying to say triangle. Throw myself into the night. Girl interrupted. Occupation corporation. Computers understand me. Waiting for my books to decay. Somebody stole my bike. 517, people weak today. The weather is naked and asking and wanting. Glancing, dancing. Electric miles, saw St. Vincent written on a dumpster. Grodin, we hardly knew ye. For a videotape of this program, please send $19.95 plus $3.95 shipping and handling to Fort Lee, New Jersey. Limousine service presented by Music Express. May 21st, executive decision. Website Pond. It's going to be 90 degrees Saturday and Sunday. Fuck this stupid life. 522, small talk. Like an arrow through patios, I'm learning what I can and can't do. Thawing out binary hibernation. This city smells like piss. People going home together on online dates, I'm jealous of them. The hips of the stoop, like high-heeled glass. I was born the other night, and the penchant weighed in his hand. Horny and spiraling, everyone's in love but me. My life is a mockery of a joke. Don't know why I resisted the impulse to kiss you. Sometimes I translate myself and it's hard. Your face is a product. Terrarium condo. Dad's old clothes in the closet. To deviate from the womb. Hannah found a bug in her food and took a lift home. Carrot, key of C. Carrot, clarion, clatter, clack. Back, rucksack, duck, cornea volcanoes. Coerced collegiate action, tracking ceaseless cornucopias, drakish trachea, rack and farted crash, accepting cheese corn, cherry cream, crystal chatter, cyber cunt acres, creek attache, charades, charters, clone, ceramic clot collaboration, conclusions, Cheerios, vitamin C, cloaks, symbols, cucumbers, clocks counting accurate eccentricities, actuating clutter, blocking cones, decked clearly, crayon, geckos gimmick hectares, Republican pecking pickled sandwiches, hysterectomies dissecting connections, contrary clown college, C-sections, cut and scar, crazy beck and call childbirth, cool lakes, draconian chambers, choice embarcaderos, clipper dreck, ice kicks, Janko mace, nice place, racing teachable concerns, ranch, Velcro wrenched ace licorice, peaceful continents, tracing caterwaul, croutons, mercy, etc. So these were like, I don't know if I'm going to read these tomorrow, but they're kind of like, I was just experimenting with letters. Letters to me are almost like colors, you know? So like key of C, having all those C's on the page, it's all, I don't know, C is almost like orange to me, because vitamin C and oranges and just like, I don't know, emergency, all of it. Citrus, you know, the letter C, the sun, it's orange. So these are like paintings. And I don't know, I'm trying to get these, it's almost like playing in a certain key or something. So yeah, key of C, everything in that has a C for the most part. I wasn't totally strict about it, so I did a few of these, but I only typed out a few of them because they're like, they're different than the New York stuff. So that's why I said, like, I don't know, does that really belong in this book? And I don't know what to read tomorrow. Like, do I really want to read that oral novel piece? Is that really going to work? I'm not sure. If I had to choose one 7-minute long piece, I'd probably do the New York piece, I suppose. I don't know. I just feel like I have to fight for people's attention so much. I'm not really put into a situation that often where people are like volunteering to listen to me for 20 minutes. Or 30 minutes, or an hour, which they should. I could make that work. So this is kind of a new experience for me. I don't know what to prepare, how to prepare it. Should I just read? I don't know. The reading stuff seems like it's going pretty well, but all right. I. Insipid idiot Iditarod insinuating inane inclination involving elixir vixen. Kicking isthmus trigger instinct instances in which likenesses ink incredible utilities, tilting hiccups interior-wise, tips ingesting Gigi little pinstripes, icons if an image essentially, nixing diodes, hilts might shit his income, night waits bifurcated, singing its line, time it right, big city itches lice crispy, rice indoor dips high niche picadillos, penicillin ice BB ichthyosaur, Israel ignoring sidewalk milk, kipper saltine, emptiness bit igloo dice, mini irritation initiates implosion, plains drifter Idaho, innuendo blistering blitz itinerant, icky titty caca, ritz cinder zip lip, Iowa I intake inches in time, Dignan's innocence exclaims itself in spaghetti incident illusion, Paradise City income widget indexing wee itty bitty tiny impact rhizomes, nitrous Mississippi itinerary, Lincoln, Illinois, gimbal lizard, tidy whiteys, lithe Ibsenish, inoculating Izod Pfizer in Lou I. Claudius. I don't. It does kind of have a certain effect when you read it. I don't know. It is kind of like experimental, and KGB is not the most experimental place. It's kind of more traditional, but I'm hoping that I can get people to approach what I'm doing in that spirit, I suppose. You know, I'm kind of in both. I want to talk about gentrification and what's going on in the city and New York school-ish type things and the history and that bohemian, but I also I'm kind of making my own poetics in a way. And so I'm asking people to sort of like meet me there rather than have to make something that's going to like move. I don't know. Am I moving? Do I need to be more moving? Is that what poetry is? Moving? Maybe I should try harder to be moving, to move people. Now my shit moves fast. Roundabout harpoons. Red embers earn rich rewards, garble renown arms for wrong cadre. Risky restitution, ratchets rumbling, grunting, haranguing, frying rich embers, Ford carburetors, rough terms of service, tour drat, cordless Lord Broom's rimshot, turnkey ragamuffins, rough rascals, 35 RPM, rage burnt market ramp, rant turmoil encounter, rear art core or hurt permission granted, Burt Reynolds roasted Marlboro, Paramount Cranston or Raspberry Thermal, breaker, ranch abortion, perpetual surveillance, crisp burp twerp shirt ripped right from their curt, precise, relaxed perks for recon orange reduction, dirt mourns normal warp yarns, torpors raunchy worn heart, carping, rolling, fingers torch, more arcs, determined parking order, reads verbatim, rooming razor yards from Richard Rogers Carousel, Hammerstein ramming, Mardnards, pardon our French, fivered, reamed in the rectum with the rigid ramrod of reality. I don't know. I think all those R's, they're just little experiments. And listening to all those R's, it's not. Maybe I should have tried harder to like make this some kind of like good poem. But it's really just meant to kind of like blast you with this letter in this color and just see what that does. I don't know. I've never seen anybody do that. Oh, God. I feel like I should have put in other stuff in this book. Like if I was going to make it my New York book, I should have just like gone out with that. I'll start at the beginning. March 14th, student film. Closer to Rachel's. Car Trust Pretty Car West. Pretty Ear West? Car Trust Pretty Ear West. Is it Pretty Car West? Hot Fudge Central, Charlie's Angels, like the whole red team. Let me sit and rest a minute. I can tell, grad students, it's fucking weak. We hope you're naked and devoted as you read this. There's no such street as Cherry Lane. The internet was the road. Mourn or roam. March 17th, 3 a.m. bathroom account. Microdosing with huge joints. And if there's anything people take away from this, I want it to be that. Microdosing with huge joints. That's the best line of the whole thing. So I don't know. Maybe I'll read some of my Ohio shit and some of this. I don't fucking know. It's like now I read the oral novel and it doesn't really take off, but tomorrow it might be the total opposite. You never know what's gonna work. Manhattan a pied-a-terre for the whole world. Gum swollen and tender at root of tooth. Thought is a mirror. It shows you who you are. My left side is my good side. March 18th, Operation Marijuana. Jake Leg from cheap booze, morningless peripheries, tired but not able to sleep. I'd rather be a legend than good. Looks cool. I'm gonna miss the pandemic. New York City smells like Paris. Maybe that's the garbage. I always like checking out paintings in the trash. This futon infuses with outdated vibes. Night walks in Manhattan. How much COVID in a raindrop? Guy selling fruit at 3 a.m. April 6th, price fishing. A highway's simple daisies. The Night Foundation. A portrait of our exact selves. We are stoned, relearning the game. My love language is karate. You be the judge. April 18th, SM57. People with fabulous apartments in the village filled with giant HD televisions I can see from the street. Yuppie fucking scum. April 18th, Cross Pounder. In M Sculpt, Thermage, fractional hair removal. Opaquely typical, big unit. A flourishing of rechargeable PA systems. April 19th, Inoculated City. In bullet time, I'm looking for meaningless sex. 422, Heathers. Hold on loosely, colorful gloom, heat lamp. He loves his heat rock. He loves his heat rock. He loves his heat rock. She glows in the dark. 425, Shitting Blood. Shitting Blood. Maybe that's what I should have called the book. Shitting Blood. Public secret. I have internalized Wayne's World. Private property. Bored and sober, the doors of perception are not wide enough. Obsessed with a great refund. Somewhere else is just getting started. Sleeping at 140 miles per hour. For a living, I take care of my friends. And if you'll believe it or not, I think that's the whole fucking book. I think I read literally the whole goddamn book. Out of order. I read it all out of order. So I don't know. Should I cut? Do I need more city stuff? Is that enough city stuff? Like, is the oral novel and the fucking letter stuff just way unrelated to everything else? You know, how am I gonna read? And what's the point? Let me fix the camera real fast. How am I going to read this calendar thing and the other, and what's the point of doing that? What's the point of reading the poem from 3 fucking years ago? Like, do I need to do that? Is that just like, this thing about I'm obsessed with the health of this city? It worked with the whole monologue I did. But, I mean, I've been doing this for an hour and a half, so if they'll give me an hour and a half, which they won't, even 20 minutes is like, I can't really. And then there was the whole other folder of shit. I don't know. I was looking at this stuff the other day. It was pretty good. thought about reading some of this, but it was like, well, why? It's from my relationship. It's like 3 years old. There's not really any point. I mean, I guess I'll have to go through it. Melody Laughter. Pre-lawsuit look back in danger, I heard you say. Understandable. Body blows like I'm sick with it. Could be home to find me thinking. What goes on in your heart? I grew up there. Valleydale Ballroom, Columbus, Ohio, November 4th, 1966. Swirls and nearly total. It's such an instrument. Attain greenery from afar, step out for a smoke, disregarding the talisman business card I was using to mark the galleys of my impromptu selected. Taking deep breaths and counting to 10 and getting to 6. Irises rising, hyperlinking memory, extended my sabbatical, full sound, bust this city in half on the jukebox, 10th Avenue freeze out, antecedent partner in earnesty if not style. See, I don't know. Do I need any of that stuff? I'm not sure. It's all just kind of like floatsome in the wake. It's shit. It's gasoline in the ocean. So I don't know. Should I focus on my new book? Should I read Columbus shit? I didn't even read any Columbus stuff. There's probably a few things from this I'd read. Like, I was thinking of doing like slightly abridged version of this book. And then the other book. So it's like, I don't know how long it would take me to read this one. 5 minutes maybe. If I cut a lot out of it. Because there's shit. I've read some of this stuff at readings before. So I don't really. And it's old. It's from November and fucking December last year. Do I want to read stuff about Ohio because I'm in New York and it's something might be interesting to people? Or should I just focus on my city book? And then, like I said, I got the 1 year book and the other fucking poem. So it's like, I don't know. I'm not sure what to center it around is the problem. You know, I've got all of these different things. Should it just be different New York shit? I thought about that, you know. I got less than 24 hours to figure it out. I got to go to sleep. I guess I could talk about it till 2 a.m. I'm going to go till 2 a.m. I saw Adam Fitzgerald today at 192 Books on 10th Ave, which is literally right around the corner. It's one block that way. I'm on 9th. It's on 10th. And like I said, I went around taking my flyers. I thought it wouldn't take that long. I was probably gone for an hour or two, I guess. I put flyers up, like I said, printed matter. And then I went to a few galleries. I went to look at this and that, you know, kind of on the way. And I stopped in at 192 Books. I had never actually been in there, you know, in a long time anyway. And I was like, I don't know if I was outside, but I turn around, there's fucking... I saw him the other day, too. I saw him on 7th Avenue South in West 4th. He was walking. So, I feel like we're almost the same person. He was at the Erica Hunt thing. So I've seen him 3 times, like, in the last however many weeks. You know, when you're downtown, you do start to see... you know, the people that live around here more. You notice them. So, I don't know. I don't know what the fucking I should center this reading on. Should I do any talking at all? I feel like I have to do talking. But it does take time to warm up, you know, with the reading and shit. It takes a few minutes to, like, really get into it. How am I going to do this? You know, like, am I going to have time and attention to go through this much stuff? There's a fucking poem from Posterity Zoo I could read about gentrification. This has got a piece about, I think it's in this one. Oh, maybe not. No, it's in the other one. Fuck. It's in opposite street parking. Let me see if I have one of those. Alright, well, I guess I'm not reading that tomorrow. I mean, I guess the smart thing to do would just be to work from this book, considering that it's like what I did literally all week. Tuesday, Wednesday, all day, yesterday, and today. I did this, trying to figure out what the fuck I'm going to read. I don't know. I don't know if it helped. And I put together a book that's like, with all these books, they are like extremely temporal. The idea that you can produce that much writing, 36 pages, and I could put more in. I could easily make it 50 pages. And that's just from March, April, May. I didn't even include anything from January or February from, when I was in Columbus. So this book, covers November, December, and then it picks up in March. But it's 36 pages. It's like, well, it's 34, I guess. But because I do them quarterly or thereabouts, they are kind of jagged and, it's 2. Some of it doesn't age well. And they are kind of thrown together, let's say. Even the titles, like all the fucking titles. My other fucking chapbook is called High on Life. Now this one's called City Life. Mutual Fair was a good title, but Beach Trees was not really that good of a title, to be honest. I don't even know. I mean, I gotta download that one from Google Drive again. I don't even have a copy of it here. So yeah, they're kind of meant to be slapdash and products. They're like newspapers in a way, It's like if you see me at a reading, if you find one in a bookshop, that is my digest for, those are my dispatches. It's news that I don't know. I don't know if it stays news. Drop City. I was looking at that one from 2019. That was the first one of these books I made. It's okay. It's pretty good. They're all going to kind of be like that. They're all, I don't know. I'm wondering with my writing process, because I write like this kind of fast, steady. That's kind of my, like, I don't ever want to slow down to think of, I'm always trying to move about this fast forward through putting words down, And so I don't know if like I said, I don't know if I move people. I feel like I probably need some kind of other mode of transcribing and actually getting into the writing where I experiment with coherence more. And I don't know. There's things in the oral novel piece that I thought were emotionally kind of effective. That's one reason why I thought maybe I should read it. But I don't know. I don't know if that shit's... And the ending's not super great either. So you kind of need it to nail the landing, I don't know. It suddenly feels like there's really not that much stuff in that book. I mean, I spent a lot of time typing all that shit. Just takes a long time. So I'll figure it out tomorrow. I'll pull it together. This is how I work. I mean, I've worked harder on this probably than anything I've worked on in my whole life. I feel like this is like some huge class project or something, some kind of end of the year. So, I don't know. I want to do a good job. I want to make it frankly fabulous time. I hope people come out and we have fun and I can actually transmit and talk to people, because that's what this is about. Post-pandemic, I would hate to think that we're just going to go right back to our inability to be, I don't know, real with each other, you know. Anyway, that's all for me. It's WFLF Club Fabulous. Thank you for watching. Come tomorrow live, in person. Frankly Fabulous first show. This is my first show since, my first real show since Valentine's Day 2020. I've done a couple open mics in IRL since then, but this is like my first like booked thing where I made a poster and shit. So it's been almost a year and a half. See if I still got it. The return, Frankly Fabulous, the return. Be there. You will not want to miss this. This is going to launch my career. The New York Times is going to be there. They're going to write about it. It's going to be, The Star is Born tomorrow night. Tonight, 7 p.m. Be there.